Okay, everyone, good afternoon. It is 5:52 p.m. on June 19th, 2013. Welcome to the live stream, which is an impromptu live stream. I had no idea I would be doing this right now. In fact, I have other stuff I have to get to, but there's just such shocking news coming out of the gaming world today that it had to be talked about, okay? And of course, now, as soon as I start talking, my fucking air conditioner gets loud, so I apologize for that. It'll quiet itself in a minute here. So, the talk of the town when it comes to gaming, when it comes to consoles, when it came to E3, it was that Microsoft had, with the announcement of their Xbox One, instituted a series of anti-gamer policies that, I'm sorry, I have to go fucking, the stupid air conditioner, I fucking hate it. Shut the fuck up, you piece of shit. God damn it. So fucking loud. Alright, anyway. One of the major reasons why I can't wait to move out of Connecticut is to be away from that fucking thing. But anyway, the biggest thing that everyone was talking about was how Xbox One had these anti-user policies that had been announced, okay? How it was going to have these DRM restrictions where you were going to have to log in once every 24 hours to even get the Xbox One to work. That the games were going to be copy protected to the point where you couldn't even buy or sell them, that they would have licenses that were going to be attached to your Xbox Live account, and it just opened up this whole big can of worms. How were people going to be able to play the Xbox One if you wanted to lend a game to a friend? If you wanted to sell your game or trade it in, was that going to be possible? What about a tournament setting? If you're running a video game tournament, how could you possibly have enough copies of the game that you could run on the consoles? It was just all these problems, and they were all anti-user, and I think that's why there was such a big uproar. Microsoft said, oh, we're heading into the new always-online era and the digital era, and so you'll like these features, to which everyone responded and said, no. If you could give us one concrete reason why we need to have these features, then we'll obviously say, okay, this sounds good. But everything was a negative for the user. You can no longer trade in your games. You have to have a steady, good internet connection, which a lot of people don't have. So after all this announcement came out, pre-E3, a lot of people were saying, okay, well maybe when E3 comes, they'll announce some blockbuster with games or something, it'll knock your socks off and you're going to want to get the console regardless. And they also thought maybe they'll backpedal a bit. Maybe they'll actually at E3 announce, okay, well, this is really what it is. These are all rumors and this wasn't the truth. Here's the truth. Well, E3 came and went. Yeah, sure, Microsoft did announce certain console exclusive games for the Xbox One, but it wasn't enough. A lot of people were just like, fuck it. You know, this is ridiculous. We got one console with the PlayStation 4 where during their press conference they ridiculously destroyed Microsoft by saying they would have no DRM, no always online, basically saying we're going to stick to our tried and true roots as a gaming company and not worry about all this bullshit. And really, when it comes down to it, when you think about it, from a business perspective, the only reason that Microsoft was doing it was try to cover their own ass, prevent piracy, and make more money. They wanted it so that you had to buy the games new, so there was no resale market, and therefore more people would be buying the games new, at least they thought, and therefore they'd be making more money in the long run. They didn't want people pirating games, which is the always online component, is to make sure that you're not basically downloading and burning your own copies of games. That's the only reason for it. So again, very anti-user, all pro-Microsoft, no benefit to the consumer. Sony said, well, listen, this will be the easiest E3 ever for us. We'll just basically say, fuck it, we're not doing that stuff, and we instantly win. Plus, there's the fact that the PlayStation 4 is $100 cheaper. So all that combined, Sony completely whooped Microsoft's ass at E3. Like, despite the fact that there are going to be console-exclusive games, not even talking about that, just the fact that it doesn't have anti-user features and it's $100 cheaper, the PlayStation 4 immediately won E3. Okay? And everyone's a consensus. There's no one saying, oh, no, well, no, I think that the Xbox One... No, stop it. Stop living in a fucking fantasy world. Sony beat Microsoft at E3 hands down because they basically listened to the feedback of the people out there. They heard that people don't want these negative things in the console, and they said, we're just not going to put them in the PlayStation 4. End of story. Boom, they won E3. Okay? So it's been about a week to a week and a half, actually exactly 9 days now, since the Microsoft and Sony press conferences at E3, and people have been wondering, gee, what's going to happen? Because over the past week, there's been massive negative press for Microsoft. Someone who is in the armed forces actually started writing giant articles for websites like Kotaku, basically lambasting Microsoft, saying, who the fuck do they think they are? For years, the American armed forces actually had worked with Microsoft and put Xbox 360s out in the field so that the soldiers during their breaks or whatever could actually play on the Xbox 360. And the fact that this new Xbox One needed an always online connection basically meant that they couldn't use it anymore. And they were just furious, like, how could you not have the forethought or the oversight to know that there is a large chunk of your customer base who are not going to have internet available to them 24 hours a day, who don't have really good internet connections, and therefore maybe the console wouldn't even work for them, okay? To make matters even worse, the CEO of Microsoft's Interactive Entertainment Division, Don Matrick, literally at E3 last week, in the middle of last week, with an interview, I believe for Spike TV or whoever it was, said, oh, I was written to by the military, someone in the military. He said he was on a nuclear sub and he wouldn't be able to use the Xbox One. Well, I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what a nuclear sub is. To which everyone's like, how the fuck don't you know what a nuclear sub is? How about, do you know what the Army is? The Navy? The Marines? The people that defend you and allow you to become the rich asshole that you are, living up in your fucking ivory tower and not being in line with the common person. Basically, he made himself look like a complete elitist douchebag, and that's how everyone was looking at the Xbox One for the past week and a half. It's a console for elitists, for people who want to spend $100 extra, who want a Connect that they may not even use, who want to have a console that's always online and basically say, I got the best console because it's more expensive, ha ha ha. And that's really how people have been spinning the Xbox One in the past week, okay? So all this going on, and people were wondering, what is Microsoft going to do? Because everyone knows that once you have a console that's basically designed like it is, and it was functional to E3, that you can't go back on what you said. Like, for a month now, Microsoft's been saying, no, this is going to be our policies, and either you like it or you don't buy the console. Either use the Xbox 360 or go with the PlayStation 4. Of course, they didn't say go with the PlayStation 4, but bottom line, that's basically what they were saying. Don't go with the Xbox One if you don't have a lot of money and you don't have an always good internet connection. So, I don't think anyone expected what happened today to happen, okay? So breaking news, I don't know if you've heard about it yet, it literally only happened an hour ago now. Microsoft changed the announcement that they had on their website, and all the information for the Xbox One, it's completely changed. And I'm going to read to you word from word the article that went up just a few minutes ago, written by, of all people, supposedly Don Matrick, okay, the cocky motherfucker. So here it is. I'm going to read it, and let's see how you react to it. I know how I'm going to react to it. Okay, so the name of this announcement is actually Your Feedback Matters, Update on the Xbox One. And it shows a picture of the Xbox One. And then here it comes. It says, last week at E3, the excitement, creativity, and future of our industry... Fuck that. Fuck his fluff. Let's get to the meat of it, you fucking idiot. He says, for us, the future comes in the form of Xbox One, a system designed to be the best place for gamers to go. As is our heritage with Xbox, we designed a system that could take full advantage of advances in technology in order to deliver a breakthrough in gameplay and entertainment. Funny he says that because they never explained what the breakthroughs in gameplay and entertainment were going to be doing this always online stuff. So maybe if you explained what the breakthroughs would be, you wouldn't have had a negative backlash, but I digress. Let's continue. We imagined a new set of benefits such as easier roaming, family sharing, and new ways to try and buy games. Once again, they never explained those features, so maybe if they did, people wouldn't have had a negative feedback. We believe in the benefits of a connected digital future. But since our veiling on our plans for Xbox One, my team and I have heard directly from many of you, read your comments, and listened to your feedback. I would like to take the opportunity today to thank you for your assistance in helping us to reshape the future of Xbox One. So basically what he's saying is, thanks for calling us out on our fucking anti-user bullshit, because now we realize you weren't going to buy the system and we can't take such a financial hit. Okay. You told us how you loved the flexibility you have today with games delivered on disc. The ability to lend, share, and resell these games at your discretion is of incredible importance to you. Also important to you is the freedom to play offline for any length of time, anywhere in the world. No duh. So today I'm announcing the following changes to Xbox One and how you can play, share, lend, and resell your games exactly as you do today on Xbox 360, and here is what that means. So here we go, the big changes. Number 1, an internet connection will not be required to play offline Xbox One games. After a one-time system setup with the new Xbox One, you can play any disc-based game without ever connecting online again. There's no 24-hour connection requirement, and you can take your Xbox One anywhere you want and play your games just like on the Xbox 360. Whoa. So they're completely taking out the online check component outside of a one-time when you first hook up your new Xbox One. There's already massive speculation on the internet as to what that might be, and people are saying, well, it sounds to us like Microsoft actually designed the console with this online-only check, and now they're basically, they probably already manufactured the console. Probably the console's already gone gold, which is why they had it at E3, and what they're doing now is they have to do a patch, a massive day one patch, to undo that always online requirement. So it sounds to me like if you buy the Xbox One and you don't do the patch, it will have an always online requirement, but once you get this day one update, it'll fix that. Okay? Here's the next one, the next change. Trade in, lend, resell, gift, and rent disc-based games just like you do today. There will be no limitations to using and sharing games. It will work just as it does today on the Xbox 360. Wow. So again, complete 100% change from what they were saying it was going to be. They're now going to allow you to have disc-based games. Instead of worried about only digital, you're going to be able to trade those games. You're going to be able to give them to your friends and lend them. You're going to be able to trade them in at GameStop and whatever. So, two insanely large changes to the things that were anti-user that they are now going back on. Now, what's important to note is that there's no mention of the Kinect whatsoever in this announcement. That was the third big thing that everyone hated. They said you always have to have a Kinect. It always has to have to be plugged into the console or else you can't use the console. That has not changed. That is still apparently in the requirements for the Xbox One. So let's read the rest of this article to finish it up, and then I'll give you my take on it. Alright. In addition to buying a disc from a retailer, you can also download games from Xbox Live on their day of release. If you choose to download your games, you will be able to play them offline just like you do today. Any Xbox One games that will be playable on the Xbox One Xbox One games will be playable on any Xbox One console. There'll be no regional restrictions. That's another huge thing. People had heard that there's going to be these country restrictions, that certain games won't be playable in certain countries on certain days because there's an online component where you have to turn it on. Basically saying there's going to be no region lock whatsoever on Xbox One games. Alright, let's keep going. These changes will impact some of the scenarios that we previously announced for the Xbox One. The sharing of games will work as it does today, and you will simply share the disc. Downloaded titles cannot be shared or resold. Now, this is a major difference because originally they were saying when you download a title on the Xbox One, you were going to be able to share that with your family and friends. Now, they never clarified exactly what that plan was going to be. They said that that information was coming in a future date. Now they're basically saying that's completely shot. It's exactly like it used to be. You download and you can use it on your console, and that's it. Okay? Also, similar to today, playing disc-based games will require that the disc be in the tray. So again, a major change. One of the things that they said was that once you buy the game, you put it in the Xbox, you install it, you'll never need the disc again. Now they're saying it's going to be just like the old times. You still need the disc to play the game. We appreciate your passion, support, and willingness to challenge the assumptions of digital licensing and connectivity. While we believe that the majority of people will play games online and access the cloud for both games and entertainment, we will give consumers the choice of both physical and digital content. We have listened and we have heard loud and clear from your feedback that you want the best of both worlds. Well, that statement's just blatantly wrong. He's 100% incorrect. No, most people don't want to only play their games digitally, and let me explain to you why. I'll give you a perfect example. My girlfriend has internet based off of her cable company. Her internet is slow. She cannot download a full game. Like, let's say, okay, on launch day, I want to download Killer Instinct. She won't be able to do that. She will literally have to have her console sit there for like 10 hours to download an 8 gig game. So this asshole who thinks that everyone wants everything digital is completely fucking wrong, and he's unable to admit that he's wrong. He's basically saying, well, so many people bitched that we're going to change our policy, but I still think I'm right. Don Hattrick, you are 100% fucking wrong. The United States of America does not have great internet. When are you going to get this through your thick fucking skull? Most people only have one choice when it comes to internet. They're not even able to choose and pick and choose what internet provider they have, and that one is usually they're forced with the limitations of that internet. So if someone has slow internet, they have slow internet. They can't download their games digitally, you fucking tool. What don't you understand? It's black and white. It's not, oh, it's just, I think that people will like it, but they're just afraid of change. People can't use your digital services, you fucking moron. I don't understand how stupid this guy is. Again, he lives in his ivory tower. He's probably got a fucking T1 line going into his house, or he's got the Verizon fiber optic internet, so he's able to have this lightning fast speed. Yo, right, so you can use the Xbox One in your fucking house, and everyone else will use realistic stuff. Okay, asshole? Oh my god. Alright, so the last line here in the article, thank you again for your candid feedback. Our team remains committed to listening, taking feedback, and delivering a great product for you later this year. Don Hattrick, you're fucking a blowhard. You're completely and utterly full of fucking shit. That's not the case whatsoever. The case is this. After E3, Don Mattrick went back home, and he went back to work at Microsoft HQ. And he walked in, and everyone probably gave him the dumbest fucking stares ever, looking at him like he's the Walking Dead, okay? He probably went into a boardroom, which he immediately got a phone call from the major shareholders of the Microsoft and Xbox and all that. And they basically told him, listen to us, you fucking retarded idiot. If you don't change these policies, we're going to have you fucking fired. Because the shareholders control the company, not you. You're a tool. You made everyone look bad at E3 with your haughty fucking conceited, high and mighty attitude, telling people to just keep the Xbox One if they don't have internet. Fuck you. Fix it or you're fired. And he probably sat there and literally dropped a 10-pound load in his fucking pants because he realized that his life of luxury was about to end. And he said, oh shit, I need to fix what we did because I'm not going to have a job anymore and I won't be able to have my yacht and my mansion-like house and my family who eats fucking caviar for breakfast every day. So he immediately went into the boardroom with his team and he said, fuck, we fucked up. Let's fix this. So what can we fix? And they said, well, sir, there's some things we can fix and some things we can't. Yes, we absolutely can get rid of the online-only check. In fact, we probably don't even have the system in place to do the online-only check yet. So that's an easy one. And probably it'll fix everything because, we won't have to spend money to have this online-only check service going on. So I'm sure immediately he said, oh, there's a positive. We don't have to spend money to develop the online-only check system. Do away with it. Then they probably said, well, sir, also the whole digital component aspect of it, we can do away with that because we already have a model with the Xbox 360 that works. So why don't we just use what works and not have to develop a new system? To which he probably said, okay, well, all right, we're just going to use the existing system. It's no extra work for us. All right, let's do the existing system. And then they said, well, sir, the third major complaint is the Microsoft Kinect, and we hate to tell you this, but we're fucked in that regard because we designed the whole console to need the Kinect. Without it, it's not going to work. We cannot backwards compatibility, you know what I mean? We can't go back on a console we designed with a piece of hardware attached to it at all times. It's too late. We would have to delay the release of Xbox One, and we would have to basically change a lot of stuff of the way that it works, and that's a major hardware shift rather than an outside thing outside of the console. Because when you think about the changes here, the changes were no online connectivity. That means a change outside of the console, something outside on the internet pinging the console. No all digital. Well, again, something outside of the console. You're still going to have the disc. You're still going to install the game. You just need the disc in the console at all times. That's a minor software tweak. But actually having the console not work with the Kinect would be a major hardware change, to which they probably said, we can't fix that. So they said, all right, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Let's make this announcement and try to save the launch of our console. And then, of course, write up this really stupid article sounding like it was because they directly listened to the feedback of the people. I'll tell you right now, the feedback of the people, all that did was it make the shareholders get really pissed off that they invested in a management team at Microsoft that basically are completely inept at what they do. So this was a complete damage control move. It was a knee-jerk reaction to the massive negativity that Microsoft has been getting for the past week. Okay, so now we know what the announcement is. We know what the changes are. Now what the question is it too late for Microsoft to save the Xbox One, and will these changes have a positive effect? I can tell you right now immediately, yes, 100%, there will be a positive effect. I guarantee you that because of this announcement, you will immediately see a large spike in pre-orders for the Xbox One. I also believe that now there will be a hype engine that will begin, that was kind of deflated last week at E3, that will now begin for the Xbox One. You're going to see people start talking about it in a positive light. You're going to see people start saying, okay, I'm really looking forward to Rise. I'm looking forward to, all the launch out, Killer Instinct. You're going to have people start to get this hype back, okay? And there will be momentum. You will see momentum start to build for the Xbox One's launch. Keep in mind, the Xbox One has a November launch, while the PlayStation 4 has a holiday launch, which no one knows what that means. That could be as early as October. That could be as late as fucking New Year's. So no one really knows when the PlayStation 4 comes out, and I think that was deliberate. It was a wait-and-see attitude because they wanted to see what was going to really happen with the Xbox One. I think that Sony almost planned on there being a major change, and that Xbox would backpedal on everything that they said were these huge anti-user negative statements, okay? So, I feel that that's the case. However, the Xbox One is now going to have a huge problem. The problem is this. Last week, when all this happened at E3, thousands upon thousands of people went out and pre-ordered the PlayStation 4. Okay? We're talking, if you look at numbers, I think at one point it was like 20 to 1 on Amazon.com. 20 times the amount of people who pre-ordered the Xbox One had pre-ordered the PlayStation 4. Now, I don't know if that's still the case or not, but the problem is you already have people who already pre-ordered the PlayStation 4. Now, it may be easy at GameStop to just walk in and cancel your pre-order, but I don't know if it's that easy on, say, the GameStop website or maybe Amazon.com. I don't know how easy it is to cancel. A lot of people, once they get their pre-order in, that's it. They're locked. That's actually a hassle for someone who's going to get the Xbox One after hearing all this anti-user stuff, went and reserved the PlayStation 4, to now have to go back and take away their reserve on the PlayStation 4 and reapply it to the Xbox One. That's a hassle. And you may say, oh, it's not a big hassle. Let me tell you something. People complain to me daily about stuff on YouTube that's like, Phil, I don't like your videos because they're only 10 minutes long, and I have to keep clicking on each one. I put my videos in playlists. Why are you clicking on each one? So it's stupidity like that that's going to lead people to not undo their pre-orders for PlayStation 4 and move them over to the Xbox One. So there's going to be a big group of people who are just like, fuck it, that's it. I already got my reserve in. I'm getting the PlayStation 4. I don't care about the Xbox One. So I think it's going to depend on a bunch of factors, okay? The first factor is going to be the launch date. There are people who are dying to get the latest technology, but they want to be the first to get it. So if the Xbox One actually is going to be coming out before the PlayStation 4, you may all of a sudden now see a rush of pre-orders come into the Xbox One because they want the jump on the next generation. They want the next generation now as opposed to later. But PlayStation has the flexibility to now do their console earlier if they want. So we have to see how this is going to pan out. The problem is the negative association is already with the Xbox One. And what a lot of people, I know the mentality is going to be this. Well, Microsoft wants to impose all this anti-user stuff. Microsoft doesn't care about the common gamer. Doesn't care about the military. Doesn't care about anyone with bad internet. Basically, Microsoft only cares about people with a lot of money and the best of the best. So, even though they're backpedaling now, it's a knee-jerk reaction to the negativity. So who's to say that down the line, Microsoft might not go back to their old ways and start instituting more negative stuff regarding the Xbox One. And so a lot of people, I think, are afraid now to even look at the Xbox One and say, no, fuck it, they already fucked up. I'm not going to go and take a chance on this because there's a chance they may go back to their old negative ways, and I don't want to do that. We know for sure that the PlayStation 4 is not going to have this shit, so we're going to go with that. And I think that's going to be a major concern for a lot of people. Now, by no means am I saying is the Xbox going to go back to the negative stuff with the DRM and the always online. I'm just saying you're always going to have that fear now in the back of the consumer's head. So is an announcement like this enough damage control to save the Xbox One? I'll be honest, I don't know. I think the Xbox One, they may have shot themselves in the foot before they ever got started. And this is the problem that you have when you don't take market feedback. This is a major critical problem with business today. You've got these people who are designing things like game consoles. They don't take market feedback. So way back when the PlayStation 3 came out, actually, let's even go further back. When they were designing the PlayStation 3, if Sony had taken market feedback from the consumer, and they said, what's important to you when it comes to a new console? Do you think that people would have said, well, I would really like a Bluetooth headset to work with my PlayStation 3? Or you think that people would have really said, well, no matter what, I want my PlayStation 3 to have a Blu-ray player in it because I want to watch Blu-ray movies on my PlayStation 3? Do you think those would have been the things that people said? No. They would have said, I want games. I want fun fucking games. I want an online service that fucking works. I want it so that when I turn on my headset, it doesn't sound like I'm talking from the bottom of my toilet bowl. I actually want interactive cross-game chat. I want to be able to do, talk with my friends over the internet and use it as a chat service and a social media service as well as also a game console. That's what you would have gotten as market feedback. But Sony didn't take market feedback, and what did they do? They instituted a whole bunch of stuff in their console that basically made it anti-user and anti-developer because they thought they knew better. Okay? This is what happened with the PlayStation 3. That's why it was $599 US at launch, and it was so fucking expensive. That's why game developers, for the first 2 years of its launch, said, we don't want to make games for the fucking thing because it's too hard. And that's why everyone still to this day complains that the microphones on the fucking Sony PlayStation 3 sound like shit. It sounds like you have your fucking mic shoved up your asshole because you're using shitty Bluetooth that doesn't work. So, it's the same thing with Microsoft, and I don't understand when you see that because they didn't do that in the last console generation and they had the lead, why would you change your game plan? I have a winning game plan. I have a way that I know I can go to casinos and win massive amounts of money. I'm going to stop using it and change it. That's pretty much what it is. It's like I have a money-making scheme that works. Let's completely fucking change it because we're now in charge and we won basically the last console generation. For the majority of the time, the Microsoft Xbox 360 was the market leader. Actually, it was the past 2 years where that wasn't the case. However, at that point, Microsoft, if you're the leader for 5 years, you're considered the winner of that generation. Why would you change? Like, it just blows my fucking mind. My question is this. Even after Don Mattrick making this announcement and completely going back on everything that was anti-user, how can he still have a job? If you're a shareholder, I'm publicly talking to you, if you're a shareholder of Microsoft or the Xbox or whatever the division is that Don Mattrick works for, you have to fire him. Like, that's it. He's done. You have to fire him because he is now a negative association with your company, and for the length of the time that he works for the Microsoft Interactive Entertainment Division, people will make fun of you. People will not take you seriously and think that you've got evil intentions that are anti-user until he's gone. So you need to get rid of him. Like, I don't understand how they don't think that, like, he could do damage control. No. You know what you really needed to do? You fire him, and then you just have a public press release with all this information. You don't have him release the announcement. You give him a boot to his fucking ass. This is how business works. So, I don't know what's going to happen with the Xbox One. Obviously, this is a huge take back. In fact, people are already calling this the biggest backtrack in gaming history. And people are jokingly calling this the Xbox One, well, not that, the Xbox 180. That's right. Actually, I found this on the internet. It was pretty funny that I found this on the internet, or not on the internet. It was actually people in my stream chat that did, so thank you to P-Dog and the other people who were talking about it and linked it to me. But, like, wow, what a 180 change. A complete black and white change, except for the Kinect, which, again, I don't think they had the physical capability of not having that work with the console. But wow, insanely huge news for everyone. So now, obviously, you know this news. It's up to your discretion whether or not you want to go reserve the Xbox One or not. Can you trust Microsoft? That is the question. Can you trust Microsoft enough to go reserve an Xbox One and not think that they're going to go back on their word, or that next thing you know, Don Mattrick, oh, well, guess what, everyone? Now we got this new stupid fucking feature that no one wants, and we're launching it next year. And everyone's going to be like, who is this fucking clown? Seriously. Like, what an idiot. So, I don't know. And a lot of people, I'm looking right now in the stream chat, a lot of people are saying, nope, we don't have enough trust in Microsoft to do it. After you have such a negative change to your product, how can you go back and then expect people to trust you? Now, this may be a case of maybe the Xbox One will, at the beginning of the console's life cycle, be a slow start, and then it may build. It may literally pull a PlayStation 3, which is what happened. When the PlayStation 3 came out, the Xbox 360 was the market leader for a long time, and then gradually the PlayStation 3 built itself up, and now the PlayStation 3 in sales numbers regularly beats the Xbox 360. So the question is, will the Xbox eventually do that? Will they find a way to do a slow build and then become the a champion in the market for the next generation? And that remains to be seen. A lot of people, like I said, are very skeptical. I myself, I was getting both consoles regardless because, as you know, it's my job, and I don't know people would want to see the new games and see me play them and explore these things on launch day. So I did reserve both the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. And actually, I am getting into that first class of Xbox One users who, if you got I think they call it the launch day edition or whatever, but there's something special. Apparently you get like a special controller or something because you reserved it on launch day. And I'm getting that edition of the console. So regardless, I'm getting the console. I'm going to be trying it out later this year. And if you're skeptical about it, definitely, check out my live streams, check out my content on YouTube, and you're going to be able to find out for yourself whether or not it's worth getting. And of course, I'll be doing my opinion videos like this on it once it launches to let you know what are my honest feelings about the console and the games and the launch titles and so on and so forth. Similarly to how I did last year with the Wii U, and now we all know how that turned out in the long run. So we're going to see how it turns out with the Xbox One later this year in November. So that's pretty much it. My feeling, I'm on the fence. I don't know if Microsoft has a chance to turn it around, but I don't know. It really depends less on what Microsoft does now and more on what the consumer believes. And if the consumer believes that Microsoft has this evil intention, this negative, almost this negativity associated with them because of what they were going to do before they backpedal, I don't know if they can make it out alive, basically. And especially with the games that they mentioned at E3. Rise, Killer Instinct, I think there was that one, Sunset City or whatever the hell it was. Those are okay games, but are those enough games to make you buy the Xbox One over the PlayStation 4? I don't know. For me personally, I'm getting them both, so I don't care, but I don't know if those are system sellers. So we're just going to have to see what happens in the long run, I guess. Okay? Alright, so thanks everyone for tuning into my reactions video. This will obviously, it's live here on Twitch, and I'm also going to leave it archived on Twitch if you want to watch the whole thing if you joined in the middle of it. And I'm also going to put this on YouTube on the King of Hate Vlogs later tonight. So no matter where you go, you're going to be able to watch it. And that's it. That's the huge news. The biggest backpedal in gaming history. The Xbox 180 has now no longer has the DRM and no longer has the online-only requirement. The biggest news today is that Don Matrick is still employed. I don't know how he's still employed. I think they need to fucking shit can his ass, but that's just me. So, alright everyone. Thanks for watching the stream. I appreciate it. I'll see you very shortly here for even more gameplay on Twitch if you're watching this on Twitch. If not, I'm going to be doing some more SGC Iron Man of Gaming practice videos, which I'm going to be live streaming and then also uploading to my YouTube channel, DSP Gaming. So if you're watching this on YouTube, head over to DSP Gaming. You'll be able to see those videos, okay? All right, everyone. Thanks a lot for listening, and I'll see you later.